Previously on Sherlock Holmes. Come now, children, I have sweets inside my carriage. You're super glued to the chair, aren't you? You thought I wouldn't notice, but I'm the world's greatest detective. It took 100 guesses, but we got your job in the end. What's up, guys and girls? Lazy Dragon here, and welcome back to Sherlock Holmes. Now, if you've been following our series so far, you would know that a man is dead. Yeah, it's not a good start for us. But our current tasks now are to ask why the widow of the dead man previously lied to us when she said she had no gardener, and to reenact the killing by throwing harpoons at orphans. Hey, that's how the game is played. I totally didn't set that up myself. Well then, Miss Widow, why did you lie to us about the gardener?
Mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
You're an awful bloody liar. Don't turn away when you're lying to someone.
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Woodman's Lee. We need to find them.
Of course, where would you store your valuable papers?
Our tools
Inside a
are
spade.
shed that's right behind me. It is the key to open it.
A key to the second
Thank you,
shed.
madam.
We can finally solve one of the greatest mysteries of this game. Namely, why does a garden need two sheds? It's just ridiculous. Shed down there, shed up here. Are there any other sheds I should know about?
Meow.
Shed's floor. Of course, we've noticed that the floor is made of wood. Bloody hell, Sherlock. I've noticed a door. I've noticed a shelf. And now I've noticed the floor. My amazing powers of concentration. Ooh. At this point, I'm fairly certain Lestrade just keeps Sherlock around for the laughs more than anything. Yeah, we could use him on a case, but I'd rather watch him react so excitedly at the fact he's found the floor. A small wooden box inside the shed. Is there another smaller shed inside it? Let's find out.
Let us see what is in this box.
Rotate the lock cylinder. Ah, bloody, it was another mini-game. Right, hang on. I'm going to be here a while. Ta-da! It was very helpful of the man who owns this box to leave the lines all over the top of it that you just have to sort of match up. It's like Join the Dots, except 1,000 times more boring.
With the Carey family monogram. Hertley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship.
Oh, the rich widow sleeping with the gardener. In Victorian times, that's as scandalous as one could get. Liam, my dear, you've been so good to me, but blah 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 blah. Oh, okay, so her husband, who was the dead man, used to beat her, so the gardener slept with her to make her feel better? Huh. Okay, motivation needs a bit of work, but well done, Sherlock, you've identified the floor and the box within. Good job. You gonna tell us the
Madam,
truth this time?
I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hertley.
It wasn't very difficult. You left evidence in your own shed. Most people generally hide it a bit better than that.
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters?
So you could have just chucked the letters in the bin and it would have been harder for me to find them.
Why did Mr. Hertley put them inside the garden shed?
Why did he put them in the
I don't
shed?
know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he?
Did he kill him?
What he has done.
Oh, this changes
You
everything,
believe that he
possibly,
killed your
maybe.
husband?
For all I know, there might be a third suspect that appears from behind the hedge at one point, just waving a harpoon, going, "It was me! Me the whole time!"
Thank
Before we leave, just gonna borrow a weapon from the scene of a murder.
Ready for the experiment.
Oh, they did take him off the wall. They didn't bother to clean up the blood, but at least they took his body down. They're very polite of you. Probably the best you could get from the police in the 1800s. Sure, we might move the corpse if we can be asked, but we are certainly not a cleaning service. Have fun cleaning off your own husband's blood. Now, what can we deduce? We can deduce that Judith and Liam were having sex. Judith's confession. Ah, here we go. Confession and a letter. Liam loved Judith so desperately that his jealousy could have provoked him into committing murder. That is motive. The problem is we've already got like 4 or 5 other motives floating around in our little deduction space, but hey, one more can't hurt. You know what they say, the more motives the merrier. Liam's letter and Judith's confession gives us a second reason. Oh bloody hell, there's more motives. It was confirmed that he was in love with Peter's wife, but it didn't go beyond affectionate and harmless letters and words. Harmless flirting or desperate jealousy? You decide. This looks like less of a butcher shop and more the setting of the 4th Human Centipede film, which I assume they're making.
Well,
Human Centipede 4, Centipede Harder.
I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
I intend to throw harpoons at orphans, Watson.
The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
Or we could throw it at a pig's carcass. I mean, I wanted to throw it at the orphan we were yelling at out the window in the last video, but hey, this pig will work too.
Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Aim for the mark? Really, Watson? I was going to aim for your genitals. Idiot. And... throw!
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
So you could hit an opponent with a harpoon, but you'd have to be very strong to get it to go all the way through. I mean, that's dead on the mark there.
Holmes,
That one isn't. Oh, there we go, now it's gone all the way through. So you can impale somebody from 50 yards away with a harpoon, provided they're a dead pig hanging upside down in a shop.
I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
So we're looking for a weightlifting ghost whale gardener. As if we didn't have enough ways to narrow down the suspects already.
Let's leave now.
All right, but before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
I mean, we could just run away.
Of course.
This is Victorian times, you don't have to pay for anything, provided you're quick enough to get away with it. How do you think Jack the Ripper kept escaping? He was the only Victorian to wear actual trainers. He just kept running away giggling whenever the police thought they'd catch him. If you can't beat me in a foot race, you can't arrest me. Remote possibility that it was a lucky throw, or it requires much greater strength than that of an average man. 2 men in cooperation might achieve the same result. So we're saying Peter Carey was murdered by the Chuckle Brothers? To me, to you, as they impale a man against the wall.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well,
Took you long enough.
Let me see.
Correct, in the time you lot have been wandering around London having a lovely time, I've been murdering pigs and insulting widows. Hugh Pattins, James Lancaster, Peter Carnes. So, ooh.
This man is a
Harpooner.
harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were
I completely
found
forgot
on
about the tobacco pouch. He does have the same initials. So he murdered a man then stopped for a smoke.
Wigan,
Like I said, Victorian
care for
times.
some
You
information
could probably run
on
away
the
from the
sailor
cops
that you
even
found.
with a lung
His
full of
name is
tobacco.
Patrick Cairns.
We found
Sometime
Mr.
later.
Cairns.
How much time later?
Job.
I don't know.
Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Excellent.
An arm wrestling
Here is your
sailor.
reward. 2 guineas.
Who's practiced
Thank you, sir.
harpooning people. We're not going to arm wrestle somebody who spent their entire life working on their upper body strength, are we? We're going to end up arm wrestling somebody who spent their entire life working on their upper body strength. And the fact that Peter Carey's a non-smoker go together to give us? We should probably check out Patrick Carnes, a known harpooner, very strong, smoker. Literally, at this point we may as well just write the word suspect on his head in spray paint. Why do you have a sailor costume raring and ready to go? What? God damn it, Sherlock. Sure, why
I
not?
can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
We're keeping the top hat, like, top hat is non-negotiable. How do you do, fellow sailors? Don't mind me, just the one top hat wearing seafarer in this entire pub. Hello there, fellow seamen, how are you doing? Seen any good boats lately? I hope I'm using the term correctly. I'm a foreign sailor, you see, from Scotland.
We've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here.
Ah, crap, he's got an accent. Of all the places I could have picked, why did I pretend to be from Scotland?
10 shillings.
Suits me.
Press to push, hold to restrain. What is this, a pooping minigame? Easy. His eyes are straining as well. This is a pooping minigame. Push. No, we're out of stamina. You've got some very tough arms, my friend. Can't I just lean over and punch him in the face? Make this a lot easier. Got your nose. Got your nose. Got you pinned for murder. This is the longest arm wrestle I've ever taken part in. That's probably why there's a skip button at the top of the screen. But Sherlock Holmes ain't no quitter. Unfortunately. Otherwise we could skip half of these god-awful minigames. A swift kick to the testicles ought to end this. Down you go.
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
Are you kidding me? Let's go again. No, let's not go again. I want to stare intently at your face instead. That's more fun than another bloody arm wrestling minigame. Gold earring. What else is interesting about you, apart from the fact you've got no balls? Cheap clothes, once again, Sherlock judging the poor members of society, from up in his lovely little ivory tower, where he shouts at orphans. Yellow nails. And a tattoo of an anchor, because this man is a walking stereotype.
I'm ready to try again.
Why did I agree to try again? What is wrong with me? I think the developers just wanted to torture us during this section. This is what we get for all of the stupid jokes earlier on. This is their retribution against the Let's Play community of the world. Well, that went a lot quicker than the first time. Maybe his arms are getting weaker. Maybe if we do it one more time, his arm will actually fall off.
Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink.
Beep boop. Yes, drink. This is what normal humans do.
You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Well, I mean, I've got your money that you just gave to me.
At least you're not as poor as me.
Oh, poor you. Oh, sad face.
Why do you say
Is that enough motive for you to kill a man with a harpoon with your chuckle brother?
But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So as a result, I find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
Oh.
a harpooner? Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures
Sherlock, that
lately.
accent is bloody atrocious. And this is coming from somebody who's made over 200 videos, each of which has an atrocious accent in them.
Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger, we sailed
Black Peter, yes. Black Peter's the dude that died. Let's talk more about him,
Black Peter, you say?
whilst I act as nonchalant as
We've heard rumours
possible.
about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar, and violent too.
He was a liar, he was violent, he was a tyrant.
Tyrant.
Here we go, this is perfect motive.
At least Not as good
Now
as
we just
Great
need to
Roger.
convince a judge that beating someone at arm wrestling is a good enough reason to
I was
arrest them.
told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year.
1883, Peter Carey was the captain,
See you,
and you're the spare harpooner.
was a spare harpoon.
Or do they just keep you locked up in a tool shed or something until you're needed? Oh, we broke the main harpooner. Somebody go get the spare out of storage.
There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor.
A little craft had been flown north with a sailor on board.
Norwegian coast in a dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
You brought the sailor on board from the little craft. I get a feeling I know where this is going.
I don't know. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks.
Baggage was a tin box. Yep.
Baggage was just a tin box.
So the father of the kid that broke into the shed was rescued by the boat which has this man and the other suspect on board. Are you following me so
Nobody knew what
far?
happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
And he completely disappeared on the second night.
You know.
Was he murdered? Was that the motive? And then you killed him back in order to try and get the
I
money?
saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle
Regular
of the night.
detective right here. And it only took me until the end of the case to figure all that out.
Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. And those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Oh yes, this will definitely stay between us. Of course. I won't go and tell Scotland Yard right about now.
Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
I said I was going to the toilet, but let me
There it
drop
is.
a deuce off in your pocket first. Ta-da! I'm back!
Have you got any tobacco?
Only took me
We've
3
run out
seconds
of
to
money.
walk around a table and go to the toilet.
I lost my pouch.
Be careful,
I
the
don't know
floor may be
where.
slightly slippery around here.
What's this?
Oh, is this
And
your
also
tobacco
yellow.
pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
There you have it.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod.
The first guy who broke into the shed was in fact innocent,
He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners.
and now we're
Tell him
just
about it.
reciting Moby Dick to a poor, out-of-work harpooner.
I'm
This is
done
how
now.
Sherlock gets his
It's time to
jollies.
leave.
He continually mocks the unemployed, just for shits and giggles. And finally, let's connect Patrick Carnes to his own pouch. Apparently we needed to actually stop and deduce that. We couldn't... whatever. Visit Pouch proves guilt. So, all the tasks completed, all the clues are found. Let's put it together and solve a murder. First things first, Pouch proves guilt. Carnes hated Black Peter. He would not go there for a social call. He went there to stab him up the brisket with a harpoon. Secondly, feat of strength. He was a harpooner. He was good at harpooning. Harpooning was his life. Harpooning was his love. And he probably would have had sex with a harpoon if he thought he could get away with it. John Nelligan, the kid that broke into the shed. He does have motive, but he was a weedy little thing. He looked like a stiff breeze would blow him over. He's not going to be able to have the strength to throw a harpoon and pin a man to the wall. He was just there trying to find a box. Nothing wrong with that. Box hunting is perfectly legal in every part of the UK. Desperate jealousy, he was jealous, but they kept it contained. The letters said that they had to stop. They had to keep it contained, they had to keep it under wraps, so I'm imagining it's flirting more than anything. Which would explain his presence down there, and... does it give Liam Hurtley motive? The other suspect, the one other suspect. I would assume he is actually innocent. He did work there as a gardener. Yes, he's a dickhead, but that doesn't make him a murderer. I think gardener, good enough alibi. Yes, he was sleeping with the wife, but we're not here to deal with that. We're just interested in dead people. The rest of you Victorians can go around sleeping with whoever you like. And all of this together points to Carnes being guilty, which I'm very glad of, because this is his retribution for making us do that god-awful arm wrestling minigame. And finally, let's send the ghost whale gardener to jail.
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
Of course, Lestrade. I've just spent 3 videos explaining it to everyone else, but sure. Let me just stop again to explain it to somebody else.
Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
You invited a known murderer into your home, whilst you've got a police lieutenant there with you.
I just heard the
Sherlock Holmes, ladies and gentlemen. Mind of a genius. Social skills for fucking moron.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you...
Sherlock must have had quite a jolly giggle at giving him the name Captain Ahab. Let's all take a moment to laugh at the unemployed. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Hooray for the rich upper classes.
Here now. We'll have none
I mean, there's 2 of us. This guy's probably got a gun. And you've just punched out the police chief in one go. Turns out it's the A button you're meant to hit. Be nice if they told us that at some point. Now I'll just figure out the quick time event by mashing half the controller, shall I? Don't mind me. And another one to the jaw, and another one to the jaw. This man can really take a beating. I suppose when you're at sea for all those long months, there's nothing much to really do apart from beat up every other person on the boat.
Lestrade, are you alright? Are you able to stand?
Oh, my jaw.
Well, there you have it.
He took me by surprise, Mr.
We have our suspect in
Otherwise, he
custody.
would have seen what I'm
We
capable
have
of.
solved the case. The ghost whale gardener is done for.
Lucky.
Yeah, but you got him.
Yes, because apparently Sherlock Holmes is actually Batman in disguise.
He struck you.
And you practice boxing.
Sure, he knows every martial
Must have hit him
arts.
hard. Our fellow is knocked out.
We should call for a police cab and then take you to the hospital.
Yes, well.
Oh, look at that. Sherlock caring about the police chief.
Us. You know.
He's clearly an imposter. The real Sherlock cares about nobody. At the start of the case, he was firing a gun in his own living room, for Christ's sake. Accept decision? Absolutely. Oh, hold to check conclusion. May spoil game experience. Yay! We found all the clues and we got the correct conclusion. Excellent stuff. Well, with that, I think we've finished this case. Your ranking, Justice Seeker. Thank you all for joining me. This has been Sherlock Holmes. We'll be back before too long with the Whittle on the Whales. Which, actually, when I say it that way, makes it sound like somebody's urinated on a train station. If you've got a game you'd like to see played on this channel, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. But until next time, farewell everyone.